the digital revolution is the driving force for social and economic progress, for growth and sustainable development. And that goes particularly for progress, growth, and development in Africa. We need innovative technical and digital solutions so as to tackle the most pressing issues of our times. The spread of digital technology is making processes faster, more efficient, generally more transparent, and in the long term, more and more affordable. Digital technologies like most truly innovations bring goals into our reach that were once impossible to achieve. And I'm therefore all of the more pleased to be able to talk to you, an audience of young tech entrepreneurs, startup founders, and experts from Africa and Europe about the opportunities and challenges of the digital transformation, especially because Berlin is becoming more and more a new home of such a community. First, making use of the huge changes wrought by the digital revolution to address the huge challenges in Africa. The digital revolution is turning many branches of the economy and fields of policy on their heads. That includes the health sector, education systems, trade, or the relationship between state and society. And of course, it also includes how people relate to one another. This is particularly true in Africa. I would like to give you two examples. The number of intranet users is growing worldwide, but it is growing fastest in Africa. By 2025, there will be 600 million internet users in Africa. In East Africa, mobile payment systems are widespread and more are being launched all the time. The payment system M-Pesa, which was developed and launched in Africa, is gradually spreading to other parts of the world. It has enabled people to leapfrog a development stage so that instead of individuals opening physical bank accounts, they have gone straight to using digital payment methods. We must join forces with African women and men in order to tackle the huge challenges their continent is facing. A third of the population live below the poverty line of $1.90 per day. 1 of 5 people are suffering hunger, whilst social protection systems are weak. Half of the population has no access to an electricity supply. The population of Africa is set to double within a generation, growing to 2.4 billion people in 2050. The average age is already just 17 years old. That means millions of young people who need schools, training places, universities, and above all, jobs. It is not possible to master all these challenges with the tools and methods of traditional development cooperation. That is why the BMZ and Federal Minister Gerd Müller have boldly reached beyond the ministry's traditional area of responsibility with the cornerstones for a Marshall Plan with Africa. There is no market in the world that has more development potential than Africa. However, there is also no place in the world where the margin between opportunity and disaster is as small as it is in Africa. We are pinning our hopes on using development funding, for instance, tax revenues, as a catalyst. Governments are not able to create permanent jobs, neither in Germany nor anywhere else in the world. The most they can do is increase public sector employment, but those kinds of measures are always expensive and can only ever be a temporary solution. We need partner governments that really take care of their people. In order to achieve economic growth, in addition to good governance, a country also needs products that others are willing and able to buy at the price being asked. However, these kind of products are rarely made in Africa because the costs are too high or productivity is too low in Africa. Three things in particular are necessary in order to change that. Properly trained, skilled workers, modern infrastructure with stable energy supplies and fast internet access, and third, access to bigger markets with the necessary purchasing power and an interest in buying the products on offer. We want, therefore, to improve the investment climate so as to create jobs in local economies. Our common objective is to create economically, environmentally, and socially sustainable income opportunities, and with them, prospects for the future in Africa. Making use of Africa's development potential means offering young people in Africa opportunities in their own countries. I firmly believe that the neighboring continent of Africa and Europe are like companions on a journey. In German, I like to speak about Weggefährten. The only way we can move forward is together. Maybe even the only way for us to survive is by working together and by really making a mutual commitment. That will not be possible without the private sector and private enterprises. Second, German development cooperation has recognized the potential of digital technologies. What exactly are we doing? That is why 2 years ago we joined with some small and medium-sized German enterprises and with some major companies like SAP, Siemens, KPMG, to found the strategic partnership Digital Africa. The cooperation with about 140 German European businesses is aimed at making use of the potential of the digital transformation for development in Africa. We want to show which solutions and which new solutions there are. The strategic partnership is part of the BMZ, that means the Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, the BMZ initiative Digital Africa. Under this initiative, we have provided some 100 million euros over the last 2 years, which has been used to support innovative ICT projects. Our implementing organizations, GIZ, German International Cooperation, and KfW, the Development Bank, are carrying out these innovative projects, which are concerned with measures such as preventing pandemics, supporting small farmers, or computerizing tax administration systems. We want to develop this initiative further over the next few years and make even greater use of digital opportunities in German development cooperation. In this way, we can help more people get access to education and health, promote African innovations, and create jobs for well-educated, mostly young people. A particular key to achieving these aims is the innovative capacity of startups and innovation hubs. Often, they are able to find the right solutions that create more jobs, fight hunger, and make cities more livable. Under the Tech Entrepreneurship Initiative Make IT in Africa, we are supporting the development of a good entrepreneurial basis for tech startups and bringing African startups in contact with European digital companies and corporations. We are supporting young entrepreneurs throughout every stage of their development, helping them to get access to training, mentors, funding, and contacts. Third, digital technologies also bring new challenges. Often digital technologies development is faster and bolder in developing countries than it is here, in Germany or in the western part of the world. So technical developments like blockchain, big data, 3D printers, the Internet of Things, and drones have long since reached our partner countries. Just think, for example, of the possibilities for using blockchain technology to make financial flows in the budgets of our African partner countries more transparent. This will make it more difficult to embezzle funds or use them for other purposes. Modern technology can thus help fight corruption effectively, but algorithms like blockchain do not need institutions in order to work. Bitcoins is like a money without a bank. That are the possibilities here, or what are the possibilities here for ID cards without registration offices or land service without land register. These new possibilities will surely bring with them new problems. Also, there are so many positive opportunities, we must also recognize that digital technologies bring with them new challenges. The benefits of digital technologies are still too few and unequally distributed. Not every firm, person, or government is sharing in the benefits to the same extent. After all, more than half of the global population, in fact almost 60%, still have no access to the internet. And even some potential benefits are proving to be risks. For example, instead of leading to greater innovation, digital technologies can lead to concentrate markets if the markets are not properly regulated. In other words, a few powerful firms or perhaps platforms slice up the market amongst themselves. Instead of leading a greater efficiency, digital technologies can increase the divides between lower skilled workers and the more highly skilled and better educated parts of the population. These days, anyone without IT skills will have fewer opportunities on the labor market. Instead of leading to greater inclusion, digital technologies can be misused by authoritarian regimes to exercise tighter control over their citizens. We should always be aware of these risks when we are considering how to use and further develop new digital technologies. However, from what I have seen and heard, when I think of the election campaign slogans I have heard, in Africa, people are less in the habit of emphasizing and what might go wrong than they are in Germany. That is also an aspect that makes the African market more attractive. Ladies and gentlemen, as young experts, you are also the future decision makers we need in order to shape the digital revolution together and make global use of its opportunity. I wish you inspiring discussions, many opportunities for exchange and sharing, and an interesting program of events this afternoon. Thank you very much, and thank you for your attention.